So this assignment is going to require you to use getters and setters. And this assignment, A14, is to create a playlist app that allows you to use objects to add and remove songs, change their rating, and do that sort of thing. So we need to think about, what does that look like? Okay. And there's a lot of hints in the challenge itself. If you follow these directions step by step, it kind of walks you through the creation of those things. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to create a class called song. Okay, so I'm creating a class called song. That song class should have title, year, and rating. Okay, so title, year, and rating. You can use whatever you want for rating. You could use a string that contains a number of stars. You could use a number. You could use a B, C, D, F grade, whatever you want for rating. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create an initialization method. So that's usually the first method that I want to create. And if you remember, the initialization method looks like this. It's got 2 underscores, then the word init, and then 2 more underscores. Of course, it uses the self, but I'm also going to pass in the data for creating the song. So I'm going to say strn for name. I'm going to use I'm going to use inty for year. So that's an integer. A year should be an integer because a year is an integer by definition. And I'm going to use str capital R for rating. I'm going to use a string. So inside that, I'm going to use those 3 pieces of data to set these variables or set these properties. So I'm going to say self.strname equals str capital N, not as a string. There we go. And then I'm going to say self.int year equals inty, and self.str rating equals strr. Okay, so now all of those are wired up. So when I create if I want to create an instance of that, my song equals song, and I'm going to pass it 3 things. Thriller, 1984, or whatever, 84, not 94, and rating is, I'll give it 4 stars. Okay, so that creates that instance of that song with that data. And that allows me to create that. So that's good, but it doesn't do anything yet, right? It doesn't print, it doesn't say anything. I'm going to go ahead and echo back to the user that the song was added to the playlist. So when I add a song to the playlist, I'm going to say, you added self.strname to the list. I'll just say that. I won't echo back all the information. I'll just say that song was added. So that's what happens when you create that. So if I run this now, it should say you added Thriller to the list. Okay. Doesn't do anything else yet, but that's okay. We're just starting out here. Let's make this window a little bigger. There we go. No more room to play here. I'm now going to create a second method here def. This method is going to be the string method. And remember, the string method is a special method that all it does is when you print that instance of that object, return something. So I'm going to use that to create a user-friendly printout of that object. So I'm just going to print. And I'm going to use a little bit of string formatting here to make this work in my favor. So I'm going to say this is going to be the self.str name. And I'm going to align that left. Do you guys remember this? Align it left in a line of 15. Oops, L just, not left. And I'm going to fill that in with dots. So this is what that does. Let's print it. Print my song. So when I print that, it does this right here. Oops. Shouldn't be printing this, by the way. I should be returning this. So that should be a return, not a print. That's why I got that error. So when I do this now, there we go. Thriller, and then it does dots. What are the dots about? Well, I'm giving this 15 spaces, which probably isn't enough now that I think about it. I'm actually going to go 25 on that because the title of a song could be pretty long. It's going to fill in 25 spaces. So first thing it does is it puts the letters that are in that string. And then after that, it fills in whatever spaces are left up to 25 with dots. Why am I doing this? Seems like a lot of work for what? The reason I'm doing this is because I'm building a string where everything's going to be nicely spaced. So watch this. Now I'm going to use plus, and I'm going to put another string in here. Okay, so another F string. And inside that string, I'm going to say self.integer. And I'm going to say rjust on that one. And I'm going to say a year is always going to be 4. Right? So I actually don't need rjust on this one. I'm just going to delete that. If the year is always going to be 4, it's just going to be 4 characters. It'll always line up. I'm not worried about it. So let's do another plus here. And then I'm going to say F. And inside that one, I'm going to say self.strRating. And that one's going to be rjust. And I'll say 15, comma, and then another dot. Okay, so what's the deal? What is the result of all this shenanigans? When I run this, what you'll see here is this will be a uniform set of things. What I mean by that is no matter what, my song 2 equals song, and I want it that way, right? What year was that? Probably 98? I don't know. Backstreet Boys? Help me out, people. I know some of you people know. I can tell by the look on your faces you're just keeping it to yourself. All right. And that's definitely a 5-star song, right? All right, so let's see what happens. Print this out. My song 2. So look at this. Look at how nicely that all lines up. Even though the song titles are different and this is different, these are the same, so they're always going to line up, but everything lines up. It's very satisfying now because I can print out all my songs and they're going to line up perfectly. So nice. So let's